All right. Awesome.
All
Good.
right.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. You are now in the session for the Smart City Community Innovation Challenge and Awards briefing session. We welcome all of you innovators, all residents of the city of Johannesburg who are ready to put to jump into the ring and find solutions that can help us make the city better.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone in Johannesburg. This is the briefing session for the Smart City Community Innovation Challenge and Awards. We are welcoming all innovators and citizen participants who want to try to make the city a better place. And this is the platform for you to hear all about the innovation call and challenge. And we hope that you will have questions that you can pose to us as well. I have with me Nelson Sahota. You can introduce yourself, Nelson, so that they know who will be talking to them today.
Thank you, Monique. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, residents of the city of Johannesburg. My name is Nelson Sahota. I am from Wits Tshimolohong Precinct, a digital incubator owned by Wits University. We are an implementation partner on this program, with the city of Johannesburg. It is a pleasure to have you join us today. It is a pleasure to have you participate in this program that we are running. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to hand over to Monique, who will be taking through the presentation at the Community Innovation Challenge and Awards.
Thank you very much. The head of innovation partnerships in the city of Johannesburg, and our firm belief at the Smart City office is that our number one partner is our resident. We do what we do because of the residents of this great city. So what is this innovation call about? Just to give you a quick understanding, what we are looking for are people who can come up with any type of innovation, innovative approach to the problems that we have or the problems that you experience on a daily basis as our residents. This is all about the nuances of your problems. Many people say that, why doesn't the city just do X, Y, Z when it comes to a particular problem that you see on a daily basis or that you experience? So this innovation call is actually allowing people to say what that X, Y, Z is. Give us your best ideas. When you say innovation is just the creation or promotion of a new service, product, or process, or even a practice that's unique and adds value to meeting the needs of both the city internally, that means us as an organization, or externally, and that means our communities or those who are experiencing the city on a day-to-day basis. It's about the livability of the city and about the efficiency and effectiveness of our service delivery. So we want innovation and innovative approaches to how do we make the city better? How do we make the city into the city that we all want to live in? And in summary, you can also say that innovation is a new way of dealing with an old problem, something that continues to exist, but because either people or culture or environments have changed and the way that people are dealing with that particular problem have changed, we now need a new solution to how to deal with it. Alternatively, we are an evolving people, city, etc. So new problems get created. So for example, our infrastructure wasn't as old as it is now. Now it's old. So how do we get over the problems of this new issue that we have with aging infrastructure? Or how do we find that we now are moving into a new era of 4IR, and not everybody is having the ability to engage with the new economy, which is more of technology and innovation. So how do we find new solutions to that? So this challenge, and I don't know why my thing keeps moving. This challenge is about those big headaches, those problems that you have as our residents, as our citizens, and the solutions that you then want to present to the city. And just so that you know that this is not our first time of doing this, we have been doing these innovation calls since around 2020. We restarted during the pandemic, when we needed to come up with innovative approaches to how to provide services in a manner that was safe and didn't encourage people to come into areas where they had to touch each other or be in too close of proximity. So COVID-19, as horrible as it was, also was a blessing in the sense that it forced us to all look at innovative ways of living, working, and providing services. So these are some of the examples of our winners who have come through this innovation call. On the left, we have two gentlemen who came up with a chat bot for the city of Johannesburg. And you will see very soon that chatbots are going to become part and parcel of the way that the city is engaging with its residents. To the right, you will see a young lady who gave us a manner in which we could that manner in which Metrobus could service their residents without having a cashless environment. She came up with a QR code that would be able to help people to pay for their buses without actually having to exchange cash. Now, then off to the right, our more recent innovative challenge winners. We have Tulani, who is in the checkered shirt, raising his hands, who came up with a solution that is now being piloted in Joburg Water. In the center, you find Brandon Fernandez, who came up with an innovation that is now being implemented in Pick It Up. In the green, you'll have Arthur Muslangu, who also has an innovation that is now about to be piloted in the city's opportunity centers. And his solution is essentially helping SMMEs to understand the process of how do you move from being a micro business all the way up to being a more formal structure that is making money in a bigger business rather than just staying as a micro enterprise. So all in all, we have 3 of the 4 winners who have now have a pilot inside of the departments of the city. That is also to show that not everyone will be able to get a pilot, but our aim is to make sure that those who come through the challenge, as many as possible, find a location and find a situation within one of the city departments or municipal entities where they can actually pilot and provide a solution that will hopefully be something that we can gain traction and scale as the city of Joburg. Our last call, we also were looking at how do we innovate not only with our residents, but also with the employees of the city of Joburg. Similar to residents who say that they don't know how to get their ideas shared in the city, we also have employees who are in the city every day, but feel like their ideas are not being listened to, or that they don't know how to get traction. So we are essentially creating a pipeline for anyone who has innovative approaches that can help the city to actually get expression, and for those things to get in front of someone in a department who makes a decision. So let's hear from from Lindani himself.
My name is Lindan Sekakane. So I'm one of the innovators for the project that was published last year. So yeah, now me and my colleague Lindo, unfortunately he left now. So we entered the competition of the Innovation Award, which is the Smart City Award. So we won. We were one of the winners. So our project was to come up with an idea, right? So we came up with an idea to introduce the resource sharing app that will be used by the City of Johannesburg libraries. Wow! So now now we're in the stage where our project is on the developers, on the company that's called Blue Machines. They're using artificial intelligence to empower businesses. So now the app is about to be developed. So they're working on it on the project. So we're waiting for the feedback. And then I'm going to meet them next week, where we'll hear from their side, their feedback where we are. But I'm so excited. The journey was so nice. The exposure, to meet the other developers around the city of Johannesburg, employees. So it was top of the notch, and I'm growing now in my field. I understand this field of technology, right? So I can't wait to launch this app and to go and train other librarians about this app that will be published. And this app now is going to be on our online stores, which is iStore and our Android phones. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the launch of this thing, because the director will be there, the MMC will be there. So the project is something that you can't regret to enter for it. So I encourage everyone, the youth, especially the youth in our community, to go and apply and enter this competition. You'll get an exposure. You'll develop yourself, the skills that you need to the fifth industrial revolution. So I'm so excited. I don't want to lie. Thank you so much.
So those are the words directly from one of our young employees who came up with an idea. And right now we have been looking at solutions that have been largely technical, but that is not to discourage anyone who has something that is low tech or no tech. We are looking at innovation, and innovation is not always about technology. Innovation is about a new idea, a new process, a new practice that can also be suggested. So please don't be deterred if you don't have a strong technology background. As well, I just use Lindani as an example. He doesn't have a strong background, but what we did is he had an idea, and we have linked him up with the technologists that can help him to develop the app. So as I say, don't be discouraged. This is not about whether or not you had a technical innovation. This is about an innovation, and we can facilitate and assist with bringing it into a more technical sphere if possible. So we move on.
Your first 10 minutes is up, Monique.
Thank you. Now we move on to the application and the criteria. So a submission must clearly indicate what? One, we need to understand your problem. The innovation must identify an existing problem or a potential problem that you can foresee is likely to happen based upon your experience. If you've seen that something is crumbling, something is breaking, it is going to be a much bigger repair if we don't solve this particular problem. Even if it's something that's social, that is increasing, and you see, say, for example, more drug use, before it becomes something that overrides and overtakes the community, what are some of the solutions that we can use to curve that back and to solve the problem? So the problem stated should demonstrate how it reduces the quality of life, the enjoyment, the efficiency, or the livability of the city. So that's what your problem statement must point to. Then you have the solution. The solution must be specific to what the problem is. It should be unique. It should be something that we haven't necessarily thought about, or that we haven't necessarily seen as a solution, or just that it's something that has not been implemented. The solution must also explain how it will eliminate or improve the problem that you have noted. And it should show how residents will engage with the solution and how sustainable is it. So in other words, is it something that's just going to stop, say, for example, drug use in the community, like instantly? But then will require a longer term solution to make it sustainable? Or is this something that will stop it as well as be sustainable? And then finally, impact. Impact is very important, which is why it's highlighted. The idea must result in something that's a visible change to residents' experience. This is about what we see, what we experience, rather than what we're just saying that we're doing. We want things that can get onto the ground, and that is evident to those in the community that there has been something that is being done to change their experience. Benefits. The benefits should be one, you should be able to demonstrate that it solves a big problem, like a bottleneck, something that is a headache to you as a resident or to those who you commonly talk to about a problem. It should be something that is experienced regularly within your ward or your region. It should just suggest the benefits should be a new approach, a practice or process that will help the city to actually look at another way of engaging the problem and resolving the problem. We would love to have ideas that help us reduce the loss costs that we are losing as government. That's losses due to theft, financial losses due to theft, due to poor governance, meaning that we're not operating efficiently. And because we're not operating efficiently, it's costing us more to solve a problem. We would love to have solutions around vandalism and even corruption. And note that corruption is not just within the city. There's also individuals and businesses that are having corrupt practices that also take a lot of money away from the public fiscus. So solutions around that. Then things that result in the improvement of residents' livability. And this is things that have a human approach. So safety, how can we reduce crime, GBV, drug usage? How can we augment health? How can we look at how do we take care of our elderly? How can we look at well-being? And we're talking about mental well-being as well as our physical. Our mental and our physical are linked. And we have to start looking at it as a link to how we improve our community. And then lastly, one of the very important things is, does your idea also help us to stimulate local economic development? So please, if you can explain that, we'd be very happy and really take a closer look at things that can also stimulate jobs within the community. And then finally, be able to demonstrate that there will be some form of service enhancement that comes from this solution. And it has a potential to not only help the city or that particular region of the city, but can also potentially scale to other regions. I wanted to indicate that what are we looking for so that you understand what our application selection criteria is. Like, how do you ensure that you're going to be shortlisted? Well, obviously the idea has to be new and novel. It should be usable, meaning that it should be something that a reasonable person in your community is able to utilize. Even if it's technology, it should be presented in a way that even, the go-go in the community is able to learn how to use it, or a young person is able to use it. We would like things that are broadly usable, but we do understand also that if you have a target market, that you demonstrate how it's usable to that target market. Phases of implementation. A project usually has phases. 1, what do you need to do to get this up and going? 2, what is the next phase to start implementation? 3, what is it that you need to do to get this pilot actually on the ground and working? And then what is potentially, how is it going to be sustainable or scalable? So those are kind of the 3 phases that we would like to see the projects presented in. If you have more phases, that's fine as well. And then costing. So each one of those phases that you have listed, there's an action that needs to be taken. What is the costing for that implementation of that line item? And this should not go over 300,000. And I will explain to you why 300,000 has to be the max that any of your potential pilots are projected at. Intellectual property, we know that the idea, in order for this to be protectable, we have to make sure that people are understand this very clearly. IP is protectable if this is a unique idea. If you just found that this particular idea that you're presenting is done somewhere else, it's done in another city, it's done in another country, it's something you'll find online, more than likely that is not something that is IP protectable. It's an idea and you're implementing it. What is protectable is when if you come up with an idea and then we help you to create an app, that app obviously is going to be IP protectable. If you are presenting something that's very, very unique that no one has done anywhere in the city of Johannesburg or around the country, then that is something that we can potentially look at the protection of IP. So we will happily take any questions about that going forward. And submissions obviously have to be done electronically. That's the medium that we're in as a smart city office. Eligibility, it's open to everyone. Legal residents of the city of Johannesburg is all that we're looking for. You can submit as an individual, as a team member, as an NGO, even as a small business. Now, I do note if you're submitting as a small business or an NGO, you need to be able to demonstrate that there's no outstanding accounts that you have with the city of Johannesburg. So there's a little extra criteria that is required if you are a formal organization or a registered organization. However, if you are a team or an individual, we just need to know that you reside in the region where you are presenting your solution, and that you are part of that community. Obviously, we will also have a preference for innovations that are located where you live, so that every day when you're waking up, you can actually make sure that your project is moving along once a pilot gets onto the ground. And then this particular call is not for the city's employees. So please, if you're an employee, do not apply to this one. We have separate ones for employees of the city to deal with internal innovation. This one is for our external residents, and there is no age restriction. A community, there's no age or education restriction. A community comprises many individuals, young and old, and therefore a solution that is community oriented should also be receptive to ideas that are coming from the young and old. So there's no age restrictions there. And now, in order for you to submit, I just have a quick video that will help you to better understand the process.
Are you ready to make a difference in your community? The City of Johannesburg invites you to participate in a 2024 Smart City Community Innovation Challenge, where your ideas can improve the way services are delivered and positively impact the lives of residents. Applying is simple. Start by visiting the official City of Johannesburg website. Go to www.joburg.org.za and scroll all the way down to this section. Click on the public notice link, then click on the 2024 link, followed by the City of Johannesburg Smart City Community Innovation Challenge and Awards link. Go through the briefing documents, as it is very important. Go through it thoroughly, and once you've read it, click on the yellow button here that will lead you to the application form. Fill out your details as requested. Remember, the application deadline is 20 December 2024 at 23:59, just before midnight. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to contribute to the future of Johannesburg. Submit your innovation today and stand a chance to pilot your idea with the city's support. Together, let's build a smarter Johannesburg.
So there you have kind of the application process. Is very simple. For those who want a quicker and easier way to find the application, you are welcome to take the picture of this QR code, which will send you directly to the link. Alternatively, you're also welcome to just do a search for Smart City Community Innovation Challenge. You will see it will pop up on the SOE as probably one of the first things that you find on Google, and you are free to just download it from there. So those are two very simple ways. Now I'm going to hand over to you, Nelson, for you to take us through the process of discovery.
All right. Thank you so much, Monique. I'm going to just take you viewers through the process that we took, or that we are taking really on this project. Monique, if you can just move on to the next slide. Thank you. Now, there are a few things that we have already done. I will also indicate where we are now. We have done all the engagements that we needed to do on this project. We have engaged with the mayor, the MMC's office. We have done presentations at the Regional Forum of Regional Council councillor forum meetings where we shared this project with all the councillors so the message can get to the people. There are departments that we are working very closely with from the city of Johannesburg, the smart city, of course, being the one that owns the project, but also we've got many that are in support. So the engagements have been happening. Also, what we have done physical briefing sessions. So we have been to all the regions, in the city of Johannesburg, where we get to share this information that we are sharing with you today. Now, those sessions, went well in some regions, but also I guess in some regions maybe not so well, and this is why we are also here today, so that in case you missed the sessions in your region, you are able to still get the information so you can apply. Now we are done with those briefing sessions. Something that we are also doing now is we are helping those who need assistance with sending in their application, and we are currently also running a lot of workshops where we are showing people how to work on the platform or how to submit on the platform. And something that we are trying to do on this project is to make sure that everyone who really has a good idea and they have identified a very serious problem that we are facing in the city of Johannesburg is able to submit that information or that idea or that application, and no matter your educational background, no matter your level of understanding of some of the languages that we are speaking, but also the platforms that we are using. So we are using those workshops for that. If you need help, if you are on this call or you are listening on Facebook, X or YouTube, and you need help with sending in your application, please be on the lookout for information or those workshops in your region. Now, once we have done this part and the application has closed, now we are going to start the process of shortlisting. Now we are going to be closing this on the 20th of December at 23:59, and we hope that everyone will have sent their application by then, because after that you won't be able to send in your application. But once we close the application, we are going to start the process of shortlisting. Now, this is something that we are going to be doing in the new year. So from January and February, we are going to be shortlisting, and that is the time that we take to look through all the applications that have come through, and we, I guess in a way, rate them, and we decides which one we should be taking, taking forward. So you should be getting information from us, in some time in March, where we come back to you and we tell you if your application has made, the cut or not. We will communicate with you even if you don't succeed, but also we'll be communicating with you if you do succeed, and we need to be inviting you to the next phase of the project. Now, what is the next phase looks like? Once you are shortlisted, we are going to get you into what we call developmental bootcamp. Now, maybe before I explain how we're going to be running this, I need to reiterate at this point. We're trying to make sure that everyone can submit an idea. Everyone is able to communicate their idea. And now, like I indicated, we are aware there are people who might not be as educated as some of those who are applying on this program. Now, some of this is to help them with, getting their idea refined, helping them understanding, the problem they're trying to solve a bit more, getting them understanding how they can tackle, that problem, obviously with the solution that they are proposing. We use a design thinking methodology, obviously, for this part. So we will be taking, those who have been shortlisted into this bootcamp, and we help them refine their ideas using a design thinking methodology. Now, something else that we are also trying to do, we do know that some people might not be very familiar with some of the tools that we are using for putting together presentations. So we also help people package their ideas, put them on a presentation, so that when you are submitting it or you are presenting it, it is at the right quality. So we focus only on the idea or the solution that you will have been proposing for this program. Now, those are some of the things that are coming. But something else that we are doing, we realize that there are those who might have some stage fright. So we are going to be recording these presentations. During those bootcamps, you are going to get your presentation recorded. And that is what we are going to be taking to a panel of judges. So on the day of the presentation, You will sit in a room online or physically, and your presentation will be played. Of course, you will be in the room, but you won't be presenting on the day. So your presentation will have been recorded. We take, the panel of judges through your presentation, and then once they've watched it, they will then ask you questions, follow-up questions, so that you can be providing clarity or providing more information if they feel like you need to be giving them that. And this is one of the ways. Now we are trying to make sure that the playing grounds are level. Everyone is able to also indicate the problem they're trying to solve and the solution, that they are proposing to solving that problem, whether you have stage fright or not. Now there are, of course, other things that we're going to be doing. Monique, maybe if we can just move on to the next slide. Now, there's another thing that we are going to be doing. Monique has already indicated. Now, for those who are going to be, winners in this project, you are going to be given a piloting opportunity. But before we can award you as a winner, there's a process that we go through where we, engage with the departments. They get to see your solution. They get to listen to your presentation regarding your solution, so they can tell us if there's a need for your solution in the department. Now, this is a very important step, and we are making sure that everyone who gets to win has a piloting opportunity, and that is why we started with these consultations. So those who get an opportunity gets to be the ones who win in this process. So that will be the next phase after you have presented. The judges have looked at your solution and they think you've got something that can help the city quite a lot. We'll get into those engagements. We'll get the departments coming in and looking at your solution, and they will guide us if indeed what you have proposed, will be able to be taken into, their department, taken into the entity of the city. Now, there is a couple of things that you obviously have to be I think thinking about, for us to be able to select. So we'll be looking at the feasibility of your of the implementation of your idea. Now, this is very important. Now, something that you need to be aware of. We want to make sure that everyone who wins gets a piloting opportunity. Now, we unfortunately can't pilot if your solution is not feasible, and that is what they will be helping us with, to test the feasibility of the implementation of your solution. Now, we'll look at the benefits. Of course, the judges will have looked at that, but also those that are coming from the departments will help us in a way determine whether there's a benefit to the solution that we have proposed. Other things, of course, we will look at, if there are themes, if there are themes that we are noticing, around the regions. This is also the right time for us to bring those together, and we are able to then decide what we need to be doing. Now if we see, I guess there's a thread of, solutions that are coming out from the region. But of course, we'll look at the benefit. We'll look at whether the solution will be implemented in the region or not. Now, something else that we are going to be doing is we will be looking at the budget that you'll have proposed. Now, this is very important, obviously, in your application. Earlier, we were in Soweto doing one of the workshops, explaining to the people how they need to be submitting on the platform. And something that I've been explaining to them is your I guess application, is as strong as your submission at this point in time. So it is important that you send in a very thorough application. You submit a very well articulated, submission, so we are able to see everything that we need to be seeing in it. And that goes to the budget as well. Explain to us how much you are looking for, but also how you're going to be, piloting, with the money allocated to you, and the departments will be helping us with that. Now, there will be 7 solutions that are selected as winners. There will be 1 per region. Remember, this is a regional program, so we are looking at 7, winners for overall, but with 1 coming from every region. May I ask that we go to the next slide, Monique, and then you can take us through what people will be working or winning.
Okay, thank you. And I'll do this very lickety-splitty so that we can proceed on with questions. There will be, as Nelson said, 7 winners. We have a first prize, a second prize, and a third prize. First place gets the Pinnacle Award, which is 300,000. That's why we said that you have to limit your proposal to 300,000, because that's the maximum that we can fund. Then we have 2 other awards that will be 200,000 each. That will be going to 2 separate wards, obviously, at 200,000. So if you know that your solution can be costed in there, then we would recommend that you try to cost your solution to that amount. Third place is 4 at 100,000 each. So we have 4 solutions that will be that will receive seed funding to the tune of 100,000 rands. As we said, most of this is in order to get a pilot together. Some people have asked, but what if the program is bigger? The program can't be bigger. It's a pilot. So a pilot is where you just put something on the ground. It can be as very small that demonstrates that this is actually workable, that it is a solution that we can actually potentially scale into something bigger. So winners will be presented their awards by the executive mayor and the MMC who oversees CRUM and service delivery, as well as the counselors.
Monique, you are currently muted.
Sorry, I don't know how that happened. I pressed the wrong button, clearly. We are also looking at how we can create more winners. So we're looking at how do we also look at stipends and how do we find others who got shortlisted, where we don't want to just toss out good ideas. We are actually trying to find a repository of great ideas to see how that we can eventually put them onto the ground. So while we will be focused on these winners, the 7 winners in the 7 regions, we do not want anyone to feel discouraged that your ideas are just going to come in and be tossed out. We actually want to also source other ways of supporting these ideas into the community. Right now, what we're looking at is kind of creating a pipeline of support for your ideas. This thing keeps moving. We're trying to find a pipeline of support. So you have us as the city. We have other government partners who are looking at this alongside of us, like TIA, Technology and Innovation Agency. They have actually assisted at least 3 of our innovators to get more money so that they can expand their projects. So again, we're not just looking at us, we are seeding the pilot, but other people are then going to have a look at the pilot and how it's working and then take it potentially to the next level. We're also going to have conversations with the CETAs to see how those who don't win, is there still a way for us to implement this and help people to implement these into their communities by having kind of what we call a local community innovation workforce or a youth innovation workforce, because CETAs require you to be a certain age and under. So there, we might have age restrictions. Then we're going to look at corporate sponsors. We've already been approached by some corporations who want to support what comes out of this, and they want to also look at, how we can co-develop hackathons alongside of them. So we are getting traction. We already have the relationship with Wits University, which will make sure that our solutions are innovative and that those who come up with the ideas get the support that they need in order to get these onto the ground. So we're really trying to create a bed of solutions and the support that you need. It's kind of creating the nest. We see you kind of as our eggs in the nest, and we're going to make sure that we can help them develop into the beautiful eagles or whatever birds they will be. And then we're also looking at, as I said, corporate CSI to see if in any of the things that have more of a human element, if we can get corporations to look at these, as well as looking at how we can help some of our unemployed graduates to get support and to find work and work within their communities that they can help to monitor and oversee. And with that, we are kind of conclude our presentation of our briefing session. And again, we present the QR code for those who want to take a quick snap to get to the innovation call. So over to you, Nelson, for the start of questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Monique, for the presentation. We are going to now get to the Q&A. We've got 3 platforms that we are streaming from. We have Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on X, and those are the platforms we are going to be taking questions from. Now, can I maybe just check if you have a question? Maybe not check, can I maybe ask the following? If you have a question now regarding the presentation that we have given this afternoon, can I ask that you go ahead and put your presentation in one of those three platforms? We are going to be looking at those and we will filter the questions here so everyone gets to hear what the question is, and then we will go ahead and respond. Now, can we maybe just give it a second, Monique, and then we'll take questions from three of those platforms, and then we will be responding to them as they are coming in. If maybe just to repeat, if you have a question, we are on three. You are obviously streaming from three platforms. You are either on YouTube, you are on Facebook, or you are on X. If you do have a question, please put it in the comments, in those platforms, and then we will go ahead, read it here, and then we will, respond based on the question that you will have asked. Do we have any questions from those platforms? Also, to those who are in the call, if you do have a question, please put up your hand and we will take your question as well. If you are on Zoom, you are also more than welcome to ask your question. I've got my colleague, Hangui, also from Tshimolohong. Hangui is also helping me check. Hangui, if you do see a question, please feel free to just unmute and ask the question, and then we will respond.
If I can come in, there is a question for from Ernest. He wants to know, is there incubation for the winter? I'll let you answer that, Nelson, since you guys are the ones who are responsible for that. Thank you.
Yes. So let's answer the questions as they are coming in. Yes, there is incubation for the winner. We haven't given out a lot of information regarding what happens once you are the winner, but maybe let's just give you an idea on how we have been approaching some of the challenges that we have been running in the past. Now, once you are the winner and you've got a piloting opportunity, we need to get you ready for your pilot. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to be doing. We'll spend a lot of time, obviously, with you, just assessing where you are. Remember, for this program, you are able to submit at an idea level, a prototype level, or at a fully developed solution level. So we will spend time with you now that you are piloting, just getting an appreciation of where you are. And then let's say you are at an idea level. What we will then do with you, you will be in a program where you are helped turning that idea into a prototype that can be piloted, or a solution that can be piloted, or a program that can be piloted. And there are a couple of programs that you're going to be part of where we do that. For example, in the last one, what we started with is we needed to start with a research phase, just so everyone gets to get deeper in the problem they're trying to solve, get to engage with the people they're solving this problem for, get to engage with the departments they are hoping the solution can be sitting in, just so they get to understand, what they are solving for. And once you have done that research phase, from the insights that we are getting from that, we will then start building the solution if you don't have the solution. Now, we build the solution based on the insights, on the needs that we have seen from the community that you are solving for, or the department that you will be working with. And after you are done with the building of the solution, we will then start the piloting phase. So there are different interventions, obviously, based on where you are in your project and what your needs are. So the easy answer or quick answer to this question is yes, you will be a program where we help you build the solution if you don't have it, and if you have it, where we are supporting you in the piloting of your solution. Okay. There is another question, and the question is is VETS able to support with skilled students and SRC to assist with projects? And this is from Ibrahim Varashia. Yes, please. Let's have that conversation. We are from the university, Ibrahim. So do reach out to either myself or my colleague from Hungary, we are both at Simulong. We will be very keen to understand the kind of support that you are thinking about. Monique, you mentioned, of course, this part about the students. There has been, of course, engagements, with the university around this, but we'll be very keen to get more details. There is an email address in the comments or in the chats. Please email at simulohon.joburg and we'll continue that conversation. I do see we have a hand from Mpo. Mpo is helping us with fielding questions. Mpo, please go ahead.
I'll take that one. I think it was requested, if I recall correctly. The gentleman attended one of our sessions, and we did say that we would try if he would send us a meeting invite once he has coordinated everyone to attend. That we would be willing to come back to the regions. I also would like to just indicate to him that we are doubling back. As we said, we just finished our first rounds of briefings. We went to all of the regions, and we did sometimes twice or 3 times in some of the bigger regions. And now we are doubling back to assist those who need help with the application process. And obviously, some people will be coming to those who have not yet had this briefing, and we are also able to do a smaller version of the briefing session. So I'm not sure how he communicated, but if I had received an email, we would have, and he had already indicated that who the community was and how many, and where we would be meeting them. We would be more than happy to put that onto our list, especially now that we are doubling back and going to the regions. And we have asked specifically from each of one of the regions if they can tell us where there is a group of people who would like us to come back to for the second bite of the apple, or to give them further explanation. So if that is the case, please do put it into the chat and onto Facebook where you need that meeting to happen. How many people will be there, what the location is, your contact number, and then we can coordinate to try to put it into our the schedule, where we are now just starting. We have only done 2, where we are now going back to each of the regions. So it's not a matter of us not wanting to do it or not being responsive. It's that we had to go to the other regions, and now we are only now starting to double back. So this is the proper time for you to submit that so that we can put it onto our agenda. Thanks.
Thank you, Monique. Yeah, please continue.
I see another question from Jamohelo. How can we prove originality and address IP issues when integrating existing processes into a streamlined solution? Okay, so Jamohelo, we do understand and that sometimes it is taking issues that have been white labeled, and you might be now using it in a different way. So I would say that the best way for us, the best way that we have been dealing with this, is that we go into MOUs with any of the departments or MEs that want to take on the solution. So that already starts with having a paper trail that indicates that this individual has come with a solution. one, you have won an award, and it's very public and it's very publicized, so it's kind of hard to mask that something has been repeated, or something has been. It's hard to mask whether someone has stolen your idea or that your IP was not unique. So it's very transparent. I think the process is. That's the one. Two, we go into an MOU with the organization that takes you on. When you implement your pilot project, if your pilot project works, it's kind of you developing your solution alongside of that particular department, right? Because there's information that you won't have that will be very unique to actually developing the solution for the city of Johannesburg. So I think that these are part of the process. First, let's see if the pilot works. Then we will look at how we actually are implementing the solution inside of the city. How much of it is white labeled? How much of it is your idea? How much of it is resources or information that's coming from the city? And then that's part of the negotiation process. Everyone has to go through some form of negotiation when you are starting to implement something with an organization. So it's not just going to go straight from pilot to someone taking an idea. This is an evolutionary process where you have the city support all along the way, and that we follow kind of a legalized process with the MOUs. Inside of that MOU, it also states that this is the idea. The idea belongs to the participant who is presenting the idea. So all I can say is that those are kind of the mechanisms and platforms that we have currently put into place to try to protect people's IP. Not to mention that we will be broadcasting who our winners are once they get to that particular level. I hope that addresses your question sufficiently. Any other questions coming from the floor? Mine are coming from YouTube. Mpo, do you have any more from Facebook? Okay. Any other questions? I do see a couple of people joined us here online. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And then who's overseeing X? Are there any individuals coming through from X?
Yes, we've got about 1,723 people live on X. There are no questions right now. So no, we've got no questions from X. YouTube also, Monique, you have managed to give us the questions from YouTube. I take it, Mempo, we don't have anything coming from Facebook.
She just indicated no. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Maybe let's give it a minute or so, Monique, and see if there are follow-up questions or there are new questions, and then we will respond. If there isn't, then we will conclude.
Yeah. I find it hard to believe we have over 1,000 people and there's no questions. We got more questions from community halls with far less people. Hammer away, guys, hammer away.
Okay, I can confirm from X there are no questions. Can I maybe just get a confirmation, or do we still not having any questions from Facebook or YouTube? I take it, Monique, that the residents of the city of Johannesburg are satisfied with the presentation. If they do not have questions, they can go ahead and apply if they do have innovative solutions or ideas.
Okay. And
yeah.
I'm saying thank you to First Take Azania, saying hi, Nelson and Monique, doing the good work for the city of Joburg. Thank you very much. We try. That's why we were here. Okay, I've got another question here, and that is, what processes should NGOs follow if they do not have offices? Look, we don't want there to be any restrictions on anyone submitting for this call. So this call for innovation, that is. So you don't have to have offices. You can use your home address. There are many NGOs that are still developmental and starting out, and they're either using somebody's house, or they're using a community center that's not theirs. Sometimes people just meet meet somewhere locally in a park if they're doing kind of neighborhood patrolling. So it's not necessary for you to have an actual office. You just need to show and demonstrate that you are using a home office, and some of the criteria that are required from formal organizations or registered organizations, you are welcome to use your home as that verification of address. Thank you, Ibrahim, saying great work for all involved. We appreciate it. But don't compliment us yet. Compliment us after we get all of these things on the ground and the pilots are working.
Oh, yeah.
We want to put our actions behind what we're saying.
Oh, yeah. And maybe just to repeat something that Monique touched on earlier when she was responding to the question. So we are currently doing the workshops now. We, like Monique was saying, we have done 2 now. We just started this week. We have done 2, where we are going back to the regions, to help those who need help with sending in the application. There are some who might say, we don't understand how to use this online platform, or we don't understand the language that is being used, or whatever the case might be. So we are going back to the regions. We started on Monday, and we'll be going back to every region that we have been to. So can I ask that you look out for invites to your region? If you know where your opportunity center is, please feel free. Or I do see Hungry has put some of this, in the chat. Maybe I should go through this very quickly. If you, okay. So now, tomorrow, we are going to be at Region E, and that is in Norwood. We will be at Patterson Park Library. We are there from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So if you are from that region, Region E, please come and join us at Patterson Park Library. If you are in Region E, but that side of Alexandra, please join us at Inkang Valley 2 Opportunity Center in Alexandra. If you are in Region A, and that is Diepsloot side, please join us on the 12th of December. We will be at Tlhabolohong Opportunity Center in Diepsloot. I'm going through this very quickly. Like I've indicated, this information, should be at your opportunity center. But also, if you are following the city, if you are on this call, you should be following the city. We will put out this information. In fact, we have been putting out some of the, the sessions that we are having. Please be on the lookout, on all the social media platforms. If you are in the Region E on the 13th of December, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we will be at Simunye Opportunity Center in Montclair. If you are in Region F, and Region F is around Braamfontein, on the 17th of December, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we will be at Koebo Opportunity Center in Braamfontein. If you are coming from Region G, we will be at Finetown Multipurpose Hall, and this will be on the 18th of December from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Now, we will share this information with you. Please contact your opportunity center. They've got all the details. They've got all the information. They've got the schedule. Feel free to engage them and ask them when we will be coming. If you are maybe from regions that we have already covered, we were in Roodepoort on Monday. We were, in Soweto today. If you are from those regions, but you still need help, please coordinate through your opportunity centers and let us know that you do need help, and we'll find a way to get to you or to assist you in your application. Now, this information obviously is quite a lot. We will share, like I've said, this on social media, the CoJ social media. You will get to know when we are coming in your region, but please be on the lookout on social media so you know when we communicate. But also this afternoon, feel free to call your opportunity center or go there tomorrow. Ask them when we will be coming to your area for these meetings. Like we have indicated, if you need help, come to those sessions. If we have already passed, feel free to tell us that, look, you guys were in my region, I didn't know, but I still need help, and we will still find a way to assist you. I think, Monique, I'm just going to hand over to you now, and then we can just thank everyone and then close the session. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Nelson, and Hangui and Paul for organizing the social media channel for us today. Please, everyone, as we said, this is an open invitation. We are not trying to be hindrances to you submitting anything to anyone who needs us. As we said, we just can't come for 2 or 3 people because there's very few of us on this right now. So if you can organize a group of people that we can come and present to, a hall of people that we can come and present to, we are more than happy to come and present and to assist. With that, I say thank you, everyone. I'm very glad and happy to have an opportunity to share this with our community and our innovators out there, especially our young people and our old people who have brilliant ideas but are being overlooked and don't have a pipeline. Out of this, we are really hoping to find great innovation that can potentially change the way that we interface and engage with our citizens. As I said at the beginning, you're our most important partnership at the City of Johannesburg. We are here and do what we do in order to make your lives and your experience in the City of Johannesburg better. So with that, I say thank you very much to all who have attended. If you have any further questions, you can still come up with those questions at another time and post them because we will continue to monitor the social media channels for any additional questions that might need to have answered. So again, thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful festive. Get these ideas in right before the festive season. We extended it so that you young people who were going through exams had a sufficient time after exams to actually submit this. So we hope to see more coming from our high school students, our college students, as well as I indicated, those who are older and more established members of our communities. With that, we say bye-bye. Happy festive.